Every 4 years, billions of people tune in to watch the World Cup. We see the players, the stadiums, and the national pride. But behind the spectacle operates an entirely different machine, an organization wielding more global influence than most sovereign nations. That invulnerability fractured on the morning of May 27, 2015. Swiss police entered the five-star Bauer Olac Hotel in Zurich, arresting senior executives who had gathered for their annual Congress. U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch unveiled an indictment detailing a 24-year scheme. The charges included racketeering, wire fraud, and money laundering conspiracies, involving over $100 million in bribes and kickbacks spanning 3 decades. These executives weren't isolated actors exploiting a vulnerable system. They were functioning exactly as their environment permitted. The organization had built a legal structure so insulated from outside scrutiny that operating above the law had become standard practice. Despite its massive global footprint, FIFA is headquartered in Zurich and legally classified simply as a non-profit association under the Swiss Civil Code. This specific classification gives them extraordinary autonomy. Swiss law provides associations the freedom to organize their internal affairs, adopt their own statutes, and govern their members with almost zero state interference. Because of this, the organization handles disputes, ethics violations, and disciplinary actions through its own private tribunals. They operate removed from the jurisdiction of international public courts. By establishing a private legal framework recognized by its host country, this sports charity essentially functions as an independent state, enforcing its own laws on Swiss soil. This chart shows the organization's revenue growth across 4-year cycles, culminating in a record $13 billion budget for 2023 to 2026. The sheer scale of this income rivals the gross domestic product of several small nations, driven almost entirely by one month-long tournament. Yet the countries hosting these tournaments bear the overwhelming brunt of the expenses. Governments spend billions on physical infrastructure, specialized stadiums, transit systems, and sweeping national security operations. While the host country absorbs those construction costs and assumes the financial risk, the governing body retains ownership of the lucrative assets. They keep the television and digital broadcasting rights, the ticketing revenue, and the corporate sponsorships. The World Cup operates as an asymmetrical wealth transfer. The host nation socializes the immense costs of the event, while the governing body privatizes the billions in profit. So if hosting this tournament almost guarantees a massive financial deficit, why do nations fiercely compete for the right to do it? The answer lies in soft power and sports diplomacy. When Qatar was awarded the 2022 tournament, they weren't bidding for ticket sales. They were bidding for global relevance. Securing the event triggers intense international media coverage, serving as a catalyst for an influx of foreign direct investment and an expansion of the tourism sector. For a small nation, it offers a fast track to establishing a prominent, modernized reputation on the world stage. These bidding wars are geopolitical transactions. Sovereign states willingly pay an exorbitant premium to purchase international legitimacy and regional influence directly from a private sports association. To understand how these geopolitical favors are distributed, we have to look at the internal voting mechanics of the organization. Decisions are made by a Congress of 211 member associations. Under their rules, every association gets exactly one vote. The smallest island nation wields the exact same electoral power as the wealthiest global superpower. This strict egalitarian structure creates an obvious vulnerability. Wealthy nations vying to host a tournament quickly realize that the most efficient path to victory is securing the votes of smaller federations. This leads to intense lobbying, often disguised as regional development funds, and, as investigations proved, direct cash bribes. The voting floor operates like a highly deregulated global parliament. It is a system where political loyalty and lucrative hosting rights are negotiated and traded openly. When corruption within these national federations becomes public, the logical response would be for sovereign governments to step in, audit their local officials, and clean house. Article 2 of the organization's statutes explicitly forbids government interference in an association's internal bodies. If a nation's government violates this rule, even to investigate actual crimes, the governing body triggers its ultimate deterrent, immediately suspending that country from all global football competitions. The threat of missing a World Cup and facing overwhelming public backlash is so severe that it routinely forces established governments to halt their investigations and retreat. The organization actively uses its statutes to override domestic authority, neutralizing the power of the state to police its own citizens. We are looking at an organization protected by a Swiss legal shield, generating $13 billion per cycle, whose decisions shape international relations. The next time a host nation is announced or a stadium fills with cheering fans, look past the grass and the goals. You are watching the flawless execution of absolute, unaccountable global power, hiding in plain sight behind the world's most popular game.